So I'm sitting in commuter traffic right now, and I just thought of this video idea because there's all these cars around me. For those of you guys that are in the Bay Area, you know what the Altamont is. It's basically this, it means high mountain in Spanish, but it basically is this stretch of freeway on the I-5 from basically the East Bay area, which would be like Livermore, Oakland-ish, kind of like East Oakland, Castro Valley, all the way to Lathrop, Stockton, Manteca. Okay, that's where they usually commute from, back to their houses going from. So I was just sitting here and I'm thinking, like, all these people, I wonder if they're truly doing what it is that they wanted to do when they were young, right? Like, we all, cause all of us, you know, we start off when we're like in first and second grade. Our teacher asks us, what do you want to do when you grow up? Or maybe your parents ask you, and you'll say like, oh, I want to be a cop, oh, I want to be a scientist, I want to be a soldier, I want to own my own business. We all have some sort of idea of like what we want to do when we're that age. But now that we're grown up, it's like the real world sets in, and a lot of people lose that spark, that flame, that inner desire of chasing after what it was that they wanted to do when they grew up, or they just have no idea what that was. They're trying to rekindle that passion, that desire to really make something out of their life, because we're not here forever. We're gonna die, right? We're no one's going to live forever, but we end up working jobs, slaving away for the corrupt ass government or for other entrepreneurs who they're living their dream and we're building it, essentially. So I'm driving, I'm just thinking of what are 3 ways that you can identify what your purpose in this life is. Okay, so I came up with 3 just off the top of my head, and I want to share with you guys. The first thing is figuring out what it was when you were young that really just you could get lost at doing for hours on end, where the time just flew by and it didn't feel like it was work to you. You know, for me, I've always loved being outdoors. I used to have like insect farms, kind of nerdy shit, but I would either be outdoors with like insects, just investigating things, learning about the world. I always asked a lot of questions growing up too. So I've always questioned things, which is why I think I found this community in general, because when I got cheated on, when everything happened the way it did, I just wanted to dig deeper, and that led me to finding the RP and finding, quite frankly, the truth about everything. Not just because if you just think the RP is just about women and understanding why women are the way they are and why it's set up this way and why marriage laws are the way they are, that is literally 1/90th of the entire picture of everything. Okay, that is such a small sliver of a deep rabbit hole that is endless. So I've always been investigative, and then on top of that, I could spend hours on end on the computer. I loved editing. I had an old YouTube channel where I'd edit videos, so I loved editing videos. I did shoe reviews. I loved Jordans. I was like a little sneakerhead, so I'd buy Jordans off eBay and Kicks on Fire, and I'd flip those and I make videos on those. I do artwork for those, but I had to research all that as well. So that was my passion. That was something that I found I could get lost at doing for hours on end, and it didn't feel like I was working. So what is it that you're doing, or that you did when you were younger, that you could do without it feeling like work, hours on end? You start something at maybe 12 or noon, and then you look up and it's 8 p.m. and you pretty much forgot to eat because that's how I am. I have ADHD also. So when I hyper focus on something, I literally will block everything else out. Boom. So that's point number one. What was something that when you were a kid you could get lost in doing for hours on end and it didn't feel like you were doing work? That's one indicator of what your purpose might be. Indicator number two is you could ask anyone that was close to you growing up. Maybe it was your mom, your dad, your little brother, your older brother, or someone that was around your grandparents. What was it that they saw in you that, you know, you had a certain talent or ability or gift that you were born with naturally, okay? So what was it? What was something that other kids didn't have that you had a slight advantage at, and that they saw in you? Because we don't always see from our perspective what we're good at and where we might make an impact in the world, but other people sometimes can see that from a bird's eye view, where we're like the little worm on the ground squiggling around and doing little things, but the bird above can kind of look down on the worm. We're the worm when we're kids, and it can kind of see, okay, this little worm is good at X, Y, and Z. So what is something, if you could ask even right now, your parents or your loved ones, people that you were close to growing up that were older than you, that might have seen you, that you were passionate about when you were younger? And point number three is, when you're done doing whatever you think your passion is, whatever this is that you're assuming now, because you're probably gathering some, you're formulating the idea of what it is that your passion might be. Maybe you already know what it is, but I'm assuming you don't if you're watching this video. When you're done doing that passion, and I'm not saying it's gonna be easy while you're doing it, but after you're done doing that passion, it feels just like the biggest boost in your confidence. Like you feel like you're the man, like you just did it. And the rest of your day, the rest of your week, even if you're consistently working towards this thing, even if it's not necessarily generating money for you right now, what is something that brings you that joy of just like accomplishment after you're done doing it, where it's almost like a weighted backpack is just lifted off your shoulders and you feel so proud of yourself that it domino effects and spirals into other things that you're working on in your life. It's almost like putting a little battery pack on your back, and it carries you out the rest of your day with whatever it is you're working on. Okay, so think about those three things, and I want to hear from you guys. Comment in the comment section below. What are your passion? What's your passion? What's your purpose in this life? What are you looking to accomplish? Because guys, we only got one life here, and there's all these people all around. I'm looking at them right now on their commute, probably working some job that they really don't want to go to just get a paycheck, and they're gonna do that till they're 70 years old. You know, I mean, inflation's gonna keep rising. People aren't gonna even retire, some of these people, so they're gonna be working the rest of their lives doing something they hate. And I don't want to do that. I would encourage you not to do that. But you got to figure out something that you can do that brings value to the marketplace and something that you're passionate about. Because when you're passionate about something and you love what you do, you can work hours on end for not a lot of pay at first, because that's what it takes when you're first starting off doing something. But eventually, if you stick with it and you're consistent and you don't give up and you continue to improve upon that, you're going to grow exponentially at that. So let me know what that is in the comment section below. I love you all. Have a blessed rest of your day. Peace and